We get a 1, personal space, 2, personal space, 3.
Hey, hello listeners. This is just a quick disclaimer for this week's episode. As anyone that's listened to the show before knows, there can be some adult language, and anyone that's listening for the first time, please keep that in mind. We tend to be ourselves and not filter, so occasionally a bad word might come out. If you have any children in the room, please put on some headphones or have them put on some headphones. Thank you.
That I don't even care about this. I'm not even interested in having this skin on my personal space.
You're listening to the IDP Guys with Sean, John, and Nathan, the Wizards of Fantasy Football. Your go-to source for the individual defensive player strategy. And now, 3 guys who could only make an NFL team on Madden.
All right, welcome back to the IDP Guys. This is episode 114. My name is Nathan. I'm joined today with Johnny.
Hi.
And Sean.
How's it going?
It's going good, Sean. So you got a little bit of an upgrade at your setup. How's that working for you?
Everything's working good. The new chair is nice. You can sit here without being uncomfortable for the entire podcast. All 2.5 hours of it.
Nice. So before we get into everything, a little bit of an announcement, I guess. I'm recruiting right now for a second version of my fantasy football World War League. It's a 32-team salary cap, single copy contract league that I got 8 spots left. It's $100 buy-in that covers the entire 3-year run of this. It's kind of a hybrid league that kind of mashes everything of a normal dynasty league into 3 years. And we've got one version already going through the draft process and now doing a second one because a listener very much wanted to get into it. And so I was like, sure, let's do this. So 8 spots left. DM me at Nate Cheat if you're interested. I've got bylaws. It goes through everything. I've worked on this league for over a year, and just to put it together and have something, interesting, different, cool. I do all the graphics myself. So if you hit me up, I'll give you the bylaws, give you the rundown. Let me know if you're looking for a new league that is definitely, I would say, like an expert league. It's definitely not for the first time salary cap. Yeah, newbie. But it's interesting, and there's a lot involved, a lot of moving parts. So everyone that's joined have said that it's like one of their favorite setups. So definitely looking forward to seeing these 2 leagues now run through this year and how everything works out. So
yeah, I looked through all the bylaws. It looked awesome.
Yeah, it's good. I wish I could get more of the guys on staff to join up, but a lot of them, you guys are moving away from MFL.
Yeah, fuck
Well,
MFL.
it's also it's not just that. It's my fault because when quarantine all started, we started doing a new startup every single week, so everyone hit their quota of leagues within like a month of quarantine starting.
Yeah, I still have to set up my my spreadsheets to just keep track of all those quarantine leagues because I don't know, it's so much to go through, and I don't want to have a quarantine orphan at the end of it. So
I'm not gonna let you. So I mean, you don't have that option.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump into the question here. What changes are you planning with league settings this year?
Okay, so this came from a quick discussion I had with Tom K on Twitter. He was talking about moving most of his leagues to 3 corners because it more accurately depicts standard NFL base defense. I thought that was actually a pretty good idea. That's always where things trend, is towards realism, right? That's why we start 11 IDPs, and some of these offensive leagues are I mean, you can't do offensive line, but you're getting as close as you can to realism. So I like this idea. I'm actually taking my home league and a couple others I run and going to 3 corners this year. What about you guys? Any changes you're looking to make this season?
Question before we do that. What does that look like as an overall structure for your defensive positions? Are you still doing 11 players, and then where are you taking away from?
So it would be 3 corners, 3 safeties, 2 DEs, 2 DTs, 2 safeties, I believe. I think that's 11.
Safeties twice.
Linebackers.
Yeah. Three
gotcha.
3 linebackers, 2 on the line. That's 7, 10. So we'd be 1 safety over. So it'd be 12 instead of 11, but whatever.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, it's been the move to big play scoring. Because just, again, moving toward realism, my personal opinion is that linebackers are not that important to actual NFL teams. If you look at how many, actual good linebackers there are in the NFL, there's very few. And most of the high-scoring IDP linebackers are guys that are replaceable within 2 years. They're not the same as the offensive studs where you get a good 5-6 years out of the top players. So for me, to counteract that, you're moving toward big play scoring, which is less tackle dependent, which makes it less scheme dependent and less opportunity dependent and more actual talent dependent. So the other thing it does is it also, in leagues where you're starting your edge rushers as outside linebackers, if they're in a 3-4, it kind of balances that out. So the scoring we've moved to, I think TJ Watt was the top overall scorer last year, which makes a lot of sense. So your outside linebackers, while more volatile, were still definitely usable on a week-to-week basis. So I think that was the big thing I did this year, was just kind of moving away from that tackle-dependent scoring, because I think that made it a lot more random guesswork than it did actual evaluation of talent.
Gotcha. That's nice. I'm doing the big play scoring as well in different areas and messing around with keeping it consistent between IDP and then the offense, so that I've got the big play guys being valued into the top 10 of the overall players for the league. But I think the biggest thing I'm kind of pushing for, and you see that with the league that I'm recruiting for, is 32-team single copy. Just because I like the roster, the construction of a roster with super depth of where you need to be looking at kind of those players that Johnny always hits on in his articles, where it's if you need a guy, trying to just pull from the dregs of the player pool. So, you with 32 teams and single copies, all of those big guys are already gone. Your waiver wire's bare, and you really got to know your stuff to be able to pull off the wire and be able to get talent and points each week for those number 3 positions and stuff. So that's kind of where I'm heading towards.
It's kind of a big thing for me, is I don't like getting to the end of a draft and having there be people out there that I still want on my roster. Mm-hmm. If that's happening, I don't feel like the league is deep enough. Because I want the guys on the waiver wire to be a complete surprise to me. Right. If one of them breaks out, I want it to be a surprise. I don't want it to be somebody who it's fuck, man, I wish I had room on my roster for this player. And then 6 weeks later, somebody who did no research on that player just is oh yeah, I stumbled upon this guy and now suddenly he's on my roster. Right, Right.
And this is something we did with your Corona leagues. Because you did, what was it
53.
53-man rosters.
53-man rosters. They were all at least 12-team leagues, I believe.
Yeah.
There might have been one 10-man league, But
So, when you're getting towards the end of that draft, you're really fucking pulling at the dregs of, talent and players. And so when you look at that waiver wire, it's just demolished.
Yep. Which is
I like
how
that.
it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's huge. Trying to make sure you use everyone that's remotely talented, remotely productive, and the 50-50 scoring. That's also huge too. Because right now, 90% of leagues you join, it's fill out your offense and then move to IDP, and it should be a decision the entire way through.
Right.
Like,
And the funny thing is with those Corona leagues, the scoring was set up to balance that 50-50.
and it still went offense first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then around round 7, and it was one of those things where like I always tried to get on the front end of that rush because I feel like by the time you get to that rush, the value is all defense. But for whatever reason, like people are just still stuck in their ways. They're still like the habit is you don't start looking until around round 8, round 9, somewhere around there, and so hopefully those leagues kind of change people's opinions of that.
We should turn that scoring system, and I know you guys don't like MFL, but maybe you'd be on board with this, doing a couple Corona eliminators where we just draft and just best ball format, see who has the best draft at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Invite some listeners on, just kind of throw it out there. I think those eliminators can go as many as you want. So I'd be pretty cool with that if you guys are down.
Yeah, we can throw it out there.
Totally down.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Are you ready to take your fantasy draft to the next level? Order your rookie draft guide today, covering 122 rookie prospects in both IDP and offense. A collaboration between your favorite analysts. Pre-order at idpguys.org and dynastyfootballdigest.com.
This week's news.
Okie dokie. Very, very news-light week. You will notice that by the end of this news when you see I've pulled shit literally out of the sky that would not have made it any other week.
I feel like there's at least a couple of those every week.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's half this week.
Okay,
but they're all mostly football related. Okay, so first one. We'll get to the Dalvin Cook holdout in a minute, but I stumbled across this when I was looking at our lads Washington Redskins defensive line for a different reason. They have Chase Young listed as an outside linebacker. Any concern there?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little worried about him playing outside linebacker, but I mean, this is why you just play with edges. I think that it's absolutely tragic if you're doing a rookie draft and you draft Chase Young because he's very clearly the best edge talent available, and then just by random chance he ends up as outside linebacker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this kind of stuff it's so ridiculous when it happens. So good example, I took Quinnen Williams in a league where I needed defensive tackle help as one of my rookie picks last year, and now he's a defensive end.
Yep. And it feels like that's almost always the way it goes too. It's always the best ones. You know, yeah, it's never the like middling guys where it's just an easy decision. It's just the best ones, and you're sitting there, you're like, well, great. Like, what do I do with this guy now?
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully that won't happen. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Obviously the biggest news this week was the Dalvin Cook holdout, which is probably much ado about nothing with the new CBA. Thoughts?
Yeah. It's something where people are like out there everywhere just being like, well, like go buy Dalvin Cook low. It's like, bro, nobody's selling low.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What kind of low are you getting for Dalvin Cook? Nobody's selling him. So there's always that happens almost every time somebody has a holdout or there's some sort of news about anybody, like go buy him low. It's like these people that own him are not selling him for peanuts. Like, I don't know who your league mates are, but it's just not happening. So anytime something like this happens, it just kind of fucks everything, because now Alexander Madison is expensive as hell, and Dalvin Cook's price hasn't changed. So you just do nothing. You sit there. If you have them, great. If you don't, you don't.
Yep. Okay, we were just looking at this. So it was originally reported that Lynn Bowden was involved in a raid for, looks like drugs. I don't know. It wasn't him, though. It was his grandma's house. He's not in trouble. Sean, you just read something on that. What'd you say?
Yeah, it looked like it was drugs. There still isn't a ton of news available, but it appears it wasn't related to him. So yeah,
he's good. Okay, Darrell Henderson, Rams, ready for the season after ankle surgery. What do we think about the Rams' outlook running back-wise this year? I actually texted Sean about this the other night before I was making a move for Cam Akers, because this should be a no-brainer, right? It should be Cam Akers either starting or getting the majority of the touches, but they've got a recent history of pulling a fast one when it comes to this stuff.
I mean, Darrell Henderson is that recent history, second round pick last year. So it's just, there's no way to know what they're going to do. And the problem is, if you draft one, you want to have the other, and neither of them are really coming that cheap. So.
Yep. And they did that with CJ Anderson too. Who was the other guy? Something Kelly, right? John Kelly?
Yeah. Joshua Kelly.
No, it was John Kelly.
John Kelly. Yeah, Josh Kelly is the Cal running back.
Okay.
Josh Kelly's a rookie this year.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, John Kelly was a little bit later of a pick. He was 5th or 6th round. But yeah, it's a mess over there. So, a lot of people really like Cam Akers this year. I'm tempering my expectations.
Yep, I hear that. Alrighty. CJ Mosley been cleared for all activity. IDP dude will be talking about this somewhat in their interview coming up here. I'm not so sure how much CJ Mosley I want this year. What do you guys think?
I think everybody kind of feels that way about CJ Mosley, so I actually am kind of into it this year, because I think he's coming cheaper than where he should. I'm not expecting a huge year out of him, but I think people are fading him past the point of where he should be going.
Yeah, the price has been pretty good. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can get him at a decent price, a value, go for it.
Okay, so now we are into the reaching category in our news. There was an there's an NFL.com article out yesterday that said Juju and James Conner, can they bounce back this year? And that's a great question, but my answer is I don't give a shit. I don't want either of them ever.
So the news is you don't give a shit.
That's correct. Once you screw me like that, you're on my shit list forever. That's why there will be no Kirk Cousins this year.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? No Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
Damn.
Kirk didn't screw you last year.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did. He had a couple just shit games, just terrible games.
Okay, but
Kiko
overall,
Alonso
really,
too. He's on my shit list also. Fuck Kiko Alonso.
I think everybody's on board with that one, but Kirk Cousins had a really solid year.
No. Anyway, Juju and James Conner, are you guys into it? Like, what do you think?
I'd take a stab
I've
on
never
Juju.
been on the and I've never been on the Juju train. James Conner, I really like for redraft. For Dynasty, no thanks.
Gotcha. I mean, if Big Ben can stay healthy, Juju is probably locked in for a decent year. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of things got to go right first.
Yeah.
Sean doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, there you go.
I just I don't like Juju, man. I didn't like him in college, and I finally started to come around, and then last year happened. I was just like, I may have been right the first time.
Yeah. We definitely talk about this with IDP Dude coming up here. Sony Michel recovering from foot surgery. Outlook with the Patriots running backs. Same mess as always, right?
Yeah, James White's still the guy on there, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. What about all these
the
Damian Harris guys that are like, this is his year?
It's impossible to tell. I really liked Damian Harris as a prospect, but impossible to tell. I like their UDFA running back, J.J. Taylor, as well. And he is...
Oh, is he the Arizona guy?
Yeah, and he's essentially free. He's come in like 7-round drafts, and I'm getting him as a UDFA. So,
yeah, actually,
I
like that.
He's a nice wild card. So,
yeah, he's a great college player, also.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
He's just 5'5" and tiny.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's that. So, I mean, that'll do it.
Nice. Those Pac-12 guys, gotta love them. All right, Luke Kuechly joins Panthers front office as a scout, which congratulations, Luke. That's good for you. This also factors in our subscriber Slack chat. We were talking about acquiring guys with concussion issues and the risk of that, because there are a couple guys that said there is no risk with that, and it's nothing you should factor in, and Devontae Adams in particular. And I said, pump the brakes. There are many great NFL players that have had their careers ended by concussions, including Luke Kuechly.
Yeah.
Just now.
We've been, not saying we've been calling this, but, if you go back through our records, the last 2 years since his last major concussion, we've always kind of said, keep an eye out. He might just retire.
Yeah.
It's coming to an end, basically.
Right. I mean, so when you're doing a startup, when you're doing redraft, best ball, whatever, and Devontae Adams right, and Devontae Adams is sitting there. Are you looking at him and thinking, like Dynasty especially? Are you looking at him and being like, Jesus, I don't know?
I don't end up with a whole lot of Devontae Adams. He usually goes before I'd be willing to take him.
Yeah.
So. I mean, I guess previous to this past year, it was always Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams type of range, and it was Michael Thomas for me every time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, no, I would definitely say so. I've got a piece of news to throw in there. I saw this before we jumped on. It was an NFL.com article that teams are done negotiating with Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I did not get into it. It was a headline that I saw. But
so that must mean no new offers.
Yeah.
Take whatever's been offered to you or go away.
They might be sick of his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was asking for a pretty absurd price tag.
It's
funny, all the fans of teams that were like, oh, yeah, just go sign Jadeveon Clowney. It's but you don't understand. Have you looked at his price tag that he's asking for? It's not reasonable.
Right. So does he go to Seattle and just take their offer? Was there a better offer? I
don't really know. I didn't read the article, but I just saw that headline and I thought it was something worth talking about. Is he going to wait into preseason and see if an injury comes up and a team is willing to give him a better deal? Or
the longer you wait, the less cap teams are going to have available to spend. And he's looking for money that's going to break the bank, and teams are not trying to sit there on that much money. Yeah. Best case scenario is you find a team that has a bunch of cap that was not planning on spending it, that ends up as a contender, somebody like Miami or something like that. But I think at this point you got to just take a 1-year prove it deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
And once that domino falls, that'll probably help the Everson Griffin domino too, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I really need him to sign because I have a lot of shares of him.
Yeah, same. Big same. Okay, and last but not least on the news here, this is not poop related or space related or alternate reality related, but this was something I saw. Yeah, I know. It's shocking, right? This is something I saw on Twitter earlier, though. Someone was just doing one of those clickbaity tweets to engage their followers because I don't know why you'd want to do that, but they said which team is more likely to challenge for a division title this year, Miami or Detroit? And Nate voted Miami.
I know. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to say anything that might change his mind, but I'm glad that he's finally off the Kool-Aid.
But realistically, you think Fitzpatrick or a rookie has a better chance than a healthy Stafford with two great running backs, a solid wide receiver
division?
Yeah, well, Chicago is shit. Okay,
but who else is in
this? Vikings and Packers.
Vikings and Packers, and compare that to Bills and Patriots right now. Jets. I guess you could say it's a wash between the Bears and the Jets.
The talent levels are just completely different. Mm-hmm. I know you guys aren't on the Kool-Aid, but Detroit has good players. When they can all stay healthy, they've got a decent team.
Oh yeah, no.
Coaching matters, and the Lions don't have it. I don't think.
Yeah, I think
so. You'd say Miami too, Sean?
I think so.
Whoa!
This might just be a lifetime of being a Lions fan.
What alternate fucking reality are we in? Where I'm saying Detroit and you two are saying Miami.
This is interesting. This is a new one.
This is a new one. I have more hope for your team than you guys do.
I never have hope for my team, and I'm proven right every year.
So I think one of the major things about the Kool-Aid is the Corona, kind of has pushed all of the mini camps and all that stuff, that hype down the pike. We haven't heard anything. So I've just been cold turkey for a while, and the Kool-Aid's finally cleared my system.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm off.
That was part truth, part analogy, part life story. I don't know, man.
MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com. All right, so here's the part of the show where we pair together two sets of players, or two sets of defensive players, a set of offensive players. We discuss their merits against each other, send it out to Twitter, and see what you guys think, and discuss it the next week. So let's talk about last week's gut checks. Well, it was 2 weeks ago, now that I think about it. Or was it longer?
Yeah, no, it was 2 weeks.
Was it 2 weeks?
Yep.
I was on vacation, so I can't even...
Yeah, that was 2.
Yeah.
Barely remember.
We're doing bi-weekly now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a pair of safeties. The Giants' Xavier McKinney versus Tampa Bay's Antoine Winfield. With 194 votes, 64% Xavier McKinney.
That's actually not as much as I would have thought.
See, and I thought it was going to be more... Winfield, to be honest.
Really?
I even saw a poll earlier that was which safety are you trying to get more of? And it was 4 different safeties. And I think Winfield had 45% of the vote with 4 options.
I saw that poll, yeah.
Yeah.
I voted McKinney, even though I've got a soft spot for Winfield. I voted McKinney.
I do too. I personally like Winfield better, and I personally think he's a better safety prospect. But the injury history, man, it's bad news.
Well, all
right. Here's an offensive one. Pair of backup quarterbacks. Philly's Jalen Hurts versus the Packers' Jordan Love, with 203 votes, 52% Jordan Love.
Wow.
I expected that to be Jalen Hurts, but I think Jordan Love is the correct answer. So
close too, yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, really closer than it should be, in my opinion.
So pair of wide receivers here: Cincinnati's T. Higgins, Colts' Michael Pittman, with 218 votes, 61% Michael Pittman.
That is correct.
Audience is doing stellar right now.
Yeah, beautiful. Alrighty, so this week we're back to the legit setup. 2 defensive, 1 offensive. We're in rookie version God knows what right now. Out of God knows what, because there's nothing else to talk about. So first one, pair of defensive tackles. These were the 2 defensive tackles that were drafted first in this year's draft. Derek Brown out of Carolina, Javon Kinlaw out of San Francisco. I like Kinlaw's situation better, but I don't know enough about these guys to have an informed opinion, so pass.
Oh.
No. Nope.
Oh,
Wow.
Kinlaw.
You guys never let me pass.
Kinlaw.
Okay.
Fine, Kinlaw.
Yeah. That was the right answer, by the way.
Okay.
Kinlaw's got more pass rushing upside, and honestly, Derek Brown is all power, but I think that his power is enough to demand double teams. I don't think that he's going to be any more in the NFL than like a plus run defender. I think he probably maxes out at like 4.5, 5 sacks, like absolute max out.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I'm not so sure. I'm kind of in the boat with Johnny. I haven't looked into these guys other than I'm pretty sure I drafted Derek Brown at least in one league.
Man, Draft Magazine, you got one.
Yeah.
Show it, Johnny. Just got his. It's in front of
There
you.
it is.
There it is.
Yep.
Would you like to talk about it real quick,
No,
Nathan?
it's beautiful. I mean, I know Nate wants to, but it's a legit magazine. It's beautiful.
Yeah. No, it's amazing work of art. So as I said last episode, I wasn't sure when the magazine was actually going to show up. It landed at my door, and I was able to get them all out to everyone who ordered them, the physical magazines, and they should all be out there for the people who bought them. Landed at their door already. Had a few people off of Twitter commenting on them and how great they looked and everything. So, Sean, you should have gotten some in the mail.
Yeah. I haven't checked my mail in a couple of days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Jesus.
That would have been
Man,
like a
I got-
week ago.
Oh no, I didn't have it a week ago. I haven't checked it since Saturday. So,
That was Saturday's yesterday. Unless you're talking about
then
last
Friday,
Saturday.
then Friday. So it's been 3 days, I think, 2 days.
Interesting. I don't know. Well, you are out there in Minnesota, and mail is running a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but
I mean, especially out here. Out here, mail is really slow. We got a lot going on out here in the cities. So
yeah. So,
stuff is running about a week behind out here.
would make sense. But yeah, that went out, and if anyone would like to purchase it for their rookie drafts, go to idpguys.org or dynastyfootballdigest.com. The banner at the top references the rookie magazines. That you click on it, it'll bring you right in, and you can purchase them. Get a physical copy or get digital copies. Whatever works best for you. Or if you really want the cream of the crop, become a subscriber and get the magazine level, which gets you the magazine every year. Because this isn't going to be the only time we do this. We're able to cobble it together and get it going for this year, and now we've got a full year to kind of refresh and get the next one out. So it's going to be even better next year.
So the moral of the story is, if you want to know who to pick between Javon Kinlaw and Derek Brown, don't be like Nate. Read the magazine.
So I referenced the magazine during my draft, so I definitely did that. But there's so many levels to this magazine where you can reference it quickly, or you can really dive in deep. I just haven't dived in deep yet.
Gotcha. All right. Moving on. Okay. We've got a pair of defensive ends here. Is this really his name? Yetur?
Yetur.
Gross
Peter
Matos?
Gross-Matos.
Carolina. And AJ Epinesa, Buffalo. I think the Buffalo situation is good, but once again, I don't know enough about these guys. So I'm going to go.
I actually have opinions on this.
Yeah,
one.
I'm going to go Epinesa, though.
I believe
Okay,
that's
let's
the
hear you,
wrong-
Nate.
Huh?
No, go ahead,
Let's
Nate.
hear you, Nate.
Yeah.
Oh, Yetur Gross Matos. I think he lands in a really good position there in Carolina, and he's someone that I targeted very heavily because he was, if I remember, like the number 2 or number 3 defensive end off the board in rookie drafts, and he's got some high upside.
So I'm off the board on both of these guys. They're both guys that I liked a lot less than everybody else. So I haven't ended up with a single share of any of these guys through 18 some drafts now. I end up with a ton of Julian Aquara, but literally none of either of these guys. Epinesa, I think, has almost no pass rushing upside. Eater Gross-Matos, I think, is super inconsistent, and he was part of that Penn State deal this past year with the accusations of sexual assault and all that. And like, don't quote me on this because I haven't looked into the results of this at all. But it's something where just like uncertainty there, to me, like he's not a good enough player that I'm going to go out on a limb for him. So guy that's being two guys actually that are being drafted below both of them that I'd rather have are probably Darrell Taylor out in Seattle and Julian Aquara in Detroit.
Cool. So the only thing I'm looking at here is Jerry Hughes, Trent Murphy, Mario Addison are the guys technically in front of Epinesa, and they all suck ass. So there you go.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's my scientific method for you. Okay, last but not least, pair of wide receivers. Laviska Shenault, formerly of Colorado State and of 2 championship teams for me in 2 years. Thank you, Mr. Shenault.
I wonder where he's going with this
for
one.
college football, college fantasy football. Or Denzel Mims, wide receiver, New York Jets. I can't even remember what college team he was on. What was he on?
Denzel Mims?
Yeah.
Baylor.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I'm going Shenault. And
Surprise.
Minshew's there too. Like, they're gonna sling it. He's gonna get targets. He's gonna be a PPR monster. I don't know.
Yeah, you're a big Minshew guy.
Yeah, I like Minshew. Yeah, so do you.
I do. So this is tough for me because I was a big fan of both these players. On pure talent, Laviska Shenault is, in my opinion, the better player. He is, I think he was wide receiver 4 for me. So better player, but like huge, massive injury concerns. And if we're going by the price, Denzel Mims is going far earlier than Shenault. Mims will go like 201, like 111, 112, 201, somewhere in there. And Chenault's fallen to like 207. So for me, at that value, I'm going Shenault. If I'm choosing between the two on the spot, I'm going Mims just because of the lack of injury history.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about between the two of them. I do know that I've gotten Laviska Shenault in a couple spots, so I'll go there.
I actually made a trade with you. I traded up, and you just knew who I was trading up for, and I think it was at the 206, where I was sitting there, and he fell to the 206. I was like, all right, it's time to go. Let's trade up, and you immediately knew who I was taking.
Yeah, that was interesting. So going along, this was...
This is one of the quarantine leagues.
Okay, because I was trying to remember. Was this just a straight rookie draft?
Yes.
Okay, so
this was one of the leagues that we did pre-NFL draft.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so I don't really know why I knew who you were going for.
I think you had been editing the Dynasty Football Digest podcast, and so you knew my Laviska feelings.
Yeah, that could have been it. And I think I called you out, and you were like, "Yeah, that's the one." And I was like, "All right,
that's what I'm going for."
Yeah, which is fine.
You're gonna hear a lot more of this similar talk out of me with Rondale Moore next year. By the way.
Oh yeah, Rondale Moore.
Yeah, he's gonna go 102, 103 in college drafts this year.
Nice.
Was it him that just had the major injury though?
Yes, it was.
Is he going to play football again?
Yeah, he's good. He could have played the last 2 weeks last year, but they just said fuck it. They weren't going anywhere.
No, you didn't see the recent news on him?
No, what's the recent news?
I think it's Rondale Moore. Had some sort of major surgery that they're debating whether he can ever play football again.
What?
Don't quote me on the Rondale Moore part, but that definitely happened to one of the top 4 wide receiver prospects. I think it was Rondale Moore.
Oh no, it was it was Clemson guy, Justin Ross.
Justin Ross, you're right.
Yes.
You're right. It was Justin Ross.
Yes.
Okay. Rondale Moore is safe.
No, that was and that wasn't even Google. That was memory.
Jesus.
There we go.
Yeah, Moore's fine. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. So everyone, we're good on the gut checks. Let's move on to the listener questions. So if you want to ask a question and have it come on the show, give us a call at 313-986-1473. We love voicemail questions, especially when they're of the drunk and obnoxious kind. Also, you can tweet at us at IDP Guys. And if you want all your questions always answered, become a subscriber, get into our subscriber Slack chat, and ask away to our whole team of, I think we're on 30 analysts now between both sites. So
yeah, it's getting big.
Yeah, we're definitely we're taking on for the push this year for the football season. So we've got a ton of great analysts, always have great conversation going on in that subscriber chat. So take the plunge, become a subscriber. But let's talk from a Twitter question at Johnny C15. He's asking about sleeper cornerbacks and also if there's any that are going to be returning punts.
Yeah, this is a Sean answer. I'll tell you week 2. I can tell you week 2.
Really tough in terms of returning punts because they're all in flux right now. Almost any of them that were super valuable returning punts are either no longer doing that or may not be doing that. So that's kind of something that you have to wait a little closer to training camp because that's usually one of the major training camp battles is kick returner. In terms of cornerback sleepers, you're looking at the Tampa Bay guys specifically. Those are some of my favorite guys in this draft class. So basically all 3 of the Tampa Bay cornerbacks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, you can just start streaming from week 2 onward.
Yeah.
There was one before that. I don't know if you skipped it or didn't see it. Tony, Slack chat?
Tony Slack chat.
I got it. So he said, so Tony from our Slack chat said, start, bench, cut, Rashaan Evans, Dre Greenlaw, Mac Wilson. And I believe I had start Rashaan Evans, bench Dre Greenlaw, cut Mac Wilson, unless it's the gay porn star Mac Wilson, in which case absolutely start him.
I think I'm cutting. I got the same start. I think I'm cutting Dre Greenlaw and I'm starting.
Benching Mac Wilson. I hear you. That's what would make sense, except when Quan Alexander shatters into a million pieces and Dre Greenlaw starts again, then you got Dre Greenlaw.
Gotcha.
Sure.
I'll leave that up to you guys.
I don't know.
But yeah,
either answer is fine. Okay. What else?
So let's go into a second Slack channel question from Dale87. It's a 12-team PPR start 3 wide receiver league. He says OBJ and 2021 second and third, or Metcalf and a 2021 first.
John, you want to go first?
OBJ and a 2021 third for Metcalf and a first.
No. So it's OBJ, you get a 2021 second and a 2021 third, or DK Metcalf and a 2021 first.
OBJ.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. No, Metcalf, 2021 first. Easy. Easy.
Okay.
Metcalf isn't a child. He doesn't get injured all the time. He's not on his 4th team, second team, whatever. But
Odell is on his second team. He's not a child, and he's a far more talented player.
I don't know. If you're not into risk, go with Metcalf in 2021 first.
Gotcha. All right, Johnny, do you want to do it?
No, yeah. He sent it to you. It's your question.
Okay, Sean's gonna love this one. So
Great.
for a little background on this, we have a widget up on the site where people can ask questions. Generally speaking, it's to help facilitate people having problems with the site. But every so often, we get a decently funny question that comes in, and this one is from an unknown visitor. And it says, "Hey Nate, just wondering if it's normal to have super skinny poops, like incredibly skinny, more like a number 2 pencil than a dump. Thank you in advance for your medical advice."
That's completely normal. I either shit pure liquid or a number 2 pencil. So
I told him generally I splatter against the back of the toilet.
yeah, no, neither me nor Nate have anything resembling normal poops. So we're bad for that.
Any response?
Yeah, Sean, what do you think?
Good.
Statement Games is a free-to-play social game with a different twist on fantasy sports. Enter contests based around your favorite sports and rank 10 prop bet statements, competing in a DFS tournament style. Win your contest, get coins, then cash them in for real gift cards. Join Statement Games today via website or app store and get 60 coins free.
Special guest.
Today we're joined by IDP Dude, Antonio Vasquez, one of our writers at IDP Guys. Antonio, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, long time no see.
It sure has.
What's up, man?
Yeah, how are you?
Hey, living the dream right now, trying to avoid the riots and the chaos.
I hear you, man. It's been a strange few months, that's for sure.
But here we are.
Yes, sir. So anyone that doesn't know, you can follow him on Twitter at IDP_dude, I believe. Right?
Got it.
Okay, cool. And he is a writer and a ranker for us here. His claim to fame is the rankings. That's what everyone likes. That's what everyone wants, right? Like that's
the meat and potatoes.
That's the
of
meat and
IDP
potatoes,
dude.
right? Everyone's been banging down your door for that shit for months now, right?
Yeah, and I finally got them together, at least the top 36 at each position. I forgot how much I hate doing it until I started doing it.
Dude, everybody hates rankings, man. They're the worst.
It took a lot out of me last season, and just doing these, for draft, I'm like, holy shit, I got to do this now every week once the season starts. So it's gonna be fun. We're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so IDP Dude's big with our premium content in season for IDP Guys. He does those weekly rankings, plus he does the matchup charts.
Yeah,
Right.
The matchup charts actually were pretty cool last year. I got a little bit of feedback on them from some of the followers, and they said they liked them. So I think we'll do them again this year. I think me and Joey the Tooth hammered those out every week, so it was kind of fun. We alternated positions, so he wasn't always doing the same DLs or linebackers every week, so it was cool, and I enjoyed them. So it's just another aspect if you have a tiebreaker you need to look at.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So just so some of the newer subscribers, listeners know, those rankings, I mean, you don't just fire those out week one and you're like, okay, that's it. There you go. Those change week to week, and you take a shitload of stuff like factor in with that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be really sweet if I could just take my week one rankings and plow them through the rest of the season, but unfortunately the NFL does not work like that. I mean, every week I kind of start with a clean slate and just look at all the matchups, all the injuries, even who might be injured on offense that's going to affect IDP players, all types of stuff. So yeah, it takes a lot. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think the finished product is pretty good. So hopefully everyone finds it beneficial.
Yeah.
So when you do these rankings, are they rankings for like that given week, or for the rest of the season, or from a dynasty perspective, or how are you looking at them?
That given week.
Okay.
Yeah, so week to week. So I mean, you can have someone that's maybe a top, 15 linebacker one week and then they're just completely gone the next week because, maybe they got injured or they're out of a starting job. They're only filling in or something like that. So, yeah, it's all week to week.
So it's one of those things. It's where you pair together multiple platform parts of our subscription model and just our general, you listen to the show, you read Johnny's articles, and then you look at IDP Dude's rankings, and then you check the matchups, and you just kind of utilize all of that to set your lineup each week and have the best shot at winning, thanks to IDP Guys. And, this subscription of $12 a year, $20 for 2 sites, $49.99 if you want the magazines every year.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
You know what, though? The cool thing is, at least for me, is obviously because there's so many people I have to throw into the rankings every week, I start really early. Like, I'll start usually after the Sunday night games are done. But throughout the week, until usually Thursday, I'll tweak them, and I take a lot of what some of the other guys on the site, what they do into consideration. Like, so I'll read some of the injury articles that come out. I'll read some of the waiver articles that come out from our site, and I'll use that because sometimes my opinion, my biased opinion, will weigh too heavily on the rankings, which are my rankings. So I guess that's fine, but I like to take others' consideration and use that to tweak some of the stuff I have. So it's helpful as well.
Nice. Yeah, and I think, just through everything we do here, it gives you a good picture of what's going on with IDP during the season, and even, outside of the season, even though me and IDP Dude kind of are on vacation. What else are you working on this year, or thinking about working on, or...
Yeah, so like I said, the first set of rankings are out. This year I did them slightly different. So I have linebacker, safety, cornerback, defensive tackle, and edge. I found it very difficult to separate defensive tackles and defensive ends and kind of like mash outside linebackers and defensive ends together, because it really doesn't do defensive ends justice as far as where they should be ranked. I think the most difficult part about that is that everyone's platform is slightly different, which really sucks. Because I'm in leagues where we don't have an edge position. We have defensive tackles and defensive ends. And then I'm in other leagues where we have an edge and they're including linebackers. So it's like, it really depends on your platform that you're playing. So it was tough, but it seems like most people are leaning or headed more towards the edge position, which will include your outside linebackers. So I decided to use those as incorporate those into my rankings this year. So we'll see if people like that or not.
I think that's the direction it should go at the very least. Whether or not it does go there is up in the air, but that's where it should go, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it should go. It's just getting a lot of platforms to catch up to that. So that's the tough part.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of rankings, let's get some of your ones for the season. Who is your inside linebacker, number one, going into this year?
Oh, it's not going to be exciting. It's Darius Leonard.
Oh, Jesus, never would have guessed.
I don't know. It's not sexy. It's like most people's number one overall pick. But I mean, due to the beast, until proven otherwise, it's kind of hard not to not go with him.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know who else I would feel comfortable with. I can tell you that I have Jalen Smith at number 2.
Nice.
I kind of wanted to put him number 1, but I thought that would be really ballsy, so I didn't. But yeah, Leonard. Leonard's the safe pick, I think. He'd probably be my number 1 coming off the board.
All right, how about we do it like this? So, I mean, a lot of these are going to be obvious. So, anyone else on inside linebacker that's like a surprise that you think people would be surprised by? I mean, Jalen Smith at 2, I could see people being surprised. I'm not. I mean, I could see it.
Sure.
You know what? Even though there's been some movement, I don't think much of my top 10's different. I still have Jordan Hicks, and I think Schobert is gonna do really well in Jacksonville. I think I have him in top 5. He's number 5 for me. Zach Cunningham, Roquan Smith. I got all the normals in there. I think the one that might stand out to me the most is Patrick Queen. I think I have him at 23, which is inside LB2s, and he's a rookie, so hopefully he's not going to have the impact the rookies did last year, but I think he's probably the biggest one for me. I have Mosley at 17, and I feel generous with that. I don't think he's going to have a good year. I'm not confident in him at all, so that'd be interesting to see. But other than that, it's all steady as she goes.
Nice. Yep, I'm with you. How about outside linebackers or edge type guys? Your Shaq Barretts, your Khalil Macks, those guys.
Yeah. So I do have Garrett and Hunter at 1 and 2, or 1A, 1B. This is going to be a good one. I have Josh Allen at number 4.
Ooh, okay.
And let me see, I'm going down my list. I have Chase Young at 8, which I think is probably too low. I think he's going to be really good this year. Let me see another one that stands out to me. Max Crosby, I have at 13.
Nice.
The Khalil Mack, Shaq Barrett, I have him 17, 18. I got quite a few outside linebackers in the edge position, anywhere from like the mid LB1 or mid edge 1 to low, I would say edge 2s. I think they pretty much take up all of my teens in my rankings. But yeah, I think Josh Allen's going to have a good year.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you. So that kind of counts defensive end as well in that edge area.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Garrett and Hunter, yep, I don't think anyone could argue with that.
The next true defensive end I have in that ranking would be Joey Bosa.
Yep.
Cam Jordan, Sam Hubbard, Nick Bosa, DeMarcus Lawrence, Trey Flowers. That rounds out the top 12.
Nice. You think Flowers has a better year this year, maybe with some help from Okwara?
I think so. Yeah, he's got to. He's got the ability to get there. He just has to put it together. I really thought he was going to last year, but I don't know. I do like him as a top 12, though. Nice.
How about defensive tackle? I don't know where you're counting Donald as. DT, right?
Yeah, I'm counting him as DT. If I did put him in edge, he's in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ignore it for me. I mean, he had obviously some regression last year, but I don't know. I think he's going to have another record pressing sack season, so we'll see. I
finally got some Donald shares last year and just did not pay back what I paid for him at all.
Well, he had a slow start. I think if he had started those first 4 games like he ended, he would have been fine. Would have been fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't happen, but I think it can happen. We'll see.
I'm not too worried about him. I mean, that he's going to put up huge games. You don't know when, obviously, but I think it's worth the investment. I wouldn't be so aggressive to go after him. But I mean, if he falls to you as the, I don't know, 3rd or 4th DT off the board, then by all means, heck yeah, I'd go for it.
So who you reckon at 1? Is it Buckner?
So at 1, I do have Donald, and then I have Jarrett Grady at number 2.
Ooh, okay.
That's a good one. Buckner at 3.
Yeah.
I have Kenny Clark at 4, even though he had a bit of a disappointing season last year. DT is actually really interesting for me now that I'm looking at it. I have Jeff Simmons with Tennessee at number 5.
Yeah, he was trending up towards the end of last year. Yeah.
We got Ogunjobi, Dron Reed.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Dron Reed. I think he's a good player. Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I have Chris Jones all the way down at 10 or 11.
Yeah. What's going on with that?
You know what? I think what they have going on there with the rest of the team is taking away from his opportunity. I think he's good, and they have good people on the outside rushing, but I think he just gets bottled up too much. I think they give him a lot of shoulders. They chip at him a lot. They're not giving him clear pass to the quarterback anymore. And I don't think teams are running towards him either. I just don't think his opportunities to get the extra tackles that really help and his ability to get up the middle to get at the QB's not there. I think he's one of those players that kind of went through what Aaron Donald did, where he starts to get triple teamed and double teamed, and he just had an off season. And I think based on the way their schedule looks and the rest of the people around them, it's probably going to happen again this year.
Yeah, and another part of that, the easy run-stopping tackles are few and far between. When is a team against KC able to just run all game long? You know, you're down 14.
Never.
Yeah, seriously, you take a 5-minute nap, you're down 17 points, and you got to throw the rest of the game. Like, that's just what KC does to you. All right, how about safeties? What do you got at safety this year?
Buda Baker, number one. He was, I think, in my number one last year, and he did not disappoint. Most of it is the same as usual. I do have Tracy Walker, number two. But other than that, you got Poyer, James, Collins. I think Neal's going to have a bounce-back season. John Johnson's interesting at 7. I have Sean Williams at 8, but I'm not confident in that one. That's probably the one in my rankings that I'm not the most confident in. They have a 3-headed safety monster there now, and I don't know what's going to happen with playing time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fading Sean Williams everywhere. I've had so many opportunities to draft him, and I don't feel it. It's like, because all my leagues are dynasty, so I'm looking at it, and it's like, man, where I have to take this guy, I could totally just get literally nothing out of him. I'm not willing to spend a pick on somebody that could just be nothing. So yeah. I've just been passing.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, someone there is going to produce. I just don't know who it is. I think if I was going to fade one of them, I probably would fade all, because I don't know if it's going to be him or Bell or I don't know. I don't know I know that last year they ran 2 linebackers a lot. So I know that they're going to bring one of them up. I just don't know what position anyone's going to play in. Jesse Bates did pretty well last year, but I don't know. I just don't know whose playing time is going to get caught. I don't see them.
And their linebackers,
their
linebackers are shit too. That's Vigil's gone too. They got literally no one. Some rookies. Okay.
Yeah, they brought in some quality rookies. So
yeah.
I did read a couple things that talked about Bell playing up towards the line of scrimmage. So if that happens, I think he's going to have some good opportunity. But I don't know. It's weird to have all 3 of those people there. So we'll see.
Yep, definitely. That'll be like one of the things in week 1 that we're just like, all right, let's see what happens here. But yeah, sounds like the usual suspects. How about corner? I know that's one of your favorite positions.
Yeah, I got Dory Jackson, number 1. Kyle Fuller. I know you love the Fullers.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Kyle Fuller. I got Kevin King at number 3.
Nice.
And I actually have Mike Hughes at number 4. And then I'll bang off a couple real quick. I have Trey Flowers, Kenny Moore, DeAndre Baker, Isaiah Oliver, Jalen Ramsey, and Javarius Ward. That rounds out my top 10.
Nice.
No love for Marlon Humphrey or any of the Tampa Bay corners?
Actually, I have Humphrey at 33. And I have, I'm going through right now, I have Carlton Davis at 18.
Okay. All right.
Whoever wins that safety spot there is going to be pretty good. It's going to be golden, but we just don't know who the F is going to be at.
For Tampa?
Yeah, for Tampa. Yeah. I would love Winfield to get it right out the bat, but I don't think he's going to. I've been telling a lot of people it's going to be really based on injuries, and as history shows, Tampa Bay safeties get injured every season. So one of them is going to be worth stashing away.
I got to ask the obvious question because I'm sure people are going to be wondering. Logan Ryan, last year's CB1, last year's DB1.
Well, it depends where he goes.
Yeah. I mean, are you ranking him at all, or is he just left off the list?
He's left off the list for me right now. As soon as he signs somewhere, I would certainly put him on. If I'm drafting right now, I would maybe take him once the top 12 are off the board, but I don't know. It's risky. He might not sign anywhere, and it might be a throwaway draft pick. I don't know. And like I've told a couple people who's asked this, is that we don't know where he signs if it's going to be of value. What he had in Tennessee was awesome. That spot was awesome. It was a great, producing value for a lot of people who drafted him as a cornerback or just as a general DB. But I don't know if he's going to see the volume. I don't know if he'll see the tackles. We don't know where he goes. So,
and that's why Adoree Jackson's one, because he's getting that spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was my next question was who would be taking that spot. So.
Right. And IDP Dude's not the only person that said that. I've seen a couple other people on IDP Twitter say that same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, to say though, I think anybody that goes out and signs Logan Ryan at this point has a need for him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like he's not going to be coming cheap. He might be a little more discounted than he was, but if whoever signs him needs him. So I think that's kind of that's one of the major benefits of being like a top free agent player at your position, is nobody's getting you to be depth. Nobody's getting you to be a role player or anything like that. They're hashing out the cash because they need you and they want to use you full time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it, like I said, it really all depends. I mean, he can go like if he signed with New England, I don't know if I touch him because New England cornerbacks don't produce a lot of IDP points.
Right.
But if he signs with just, throwing it out there, if he signs with Baltimore, then I'd probably raise an eyebrow and say, wow, he has a good opportunity to do something. So we'll see. I'm not saying not to take a flyer on him if the opportunity arises in your draft. I just wouldn't go after him as what he was last year, which was a DB1, which is a corner one. Just because you don't know what the situation's going. I mean, it's kind of, I don't want to compare it to Antonio Brown, but it's kind of just like going after a receiver who you think might land somewhere, and if he does, he'll be good, but you just don't know.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And to be fair, I don't know that you should ever draft any cornerbacks to be a cornerback one because they're so volatile from year to year. Like
absolutely.
If you're drafting a guy, you're drafting him based on consistency, knowing that like I'm hoping he was in the top 12 last year. I'm just hoping he's in the top 36 this year. Is basically what you're for. You're just kind of betting on the percentage chance he ends up as a top 36.
Yeah, for sure. If you're in a deep league where you're starting, we're in leagues where you're starting 4, you can start 5 cornerbacks. You're drafting the shit out of them. But if you're streaming 1 or 2 a week, I'm in leagues where we start 1 or 2 cornerbacks, and I don't really draft any because I stream via matchup every week. Who's going against this wide receiver? If they're available, I'll grab them, or whoever's got the next best matchup. Cornerbacks are always very streamable week to week basis. Yep. One good thing about the position.
Yeah, definitely. How about I don't know if you saw this when I sent you the notes. How about offense? We're gonna whack you with offense real quick. Who's your QB one?
Get 'em.
QB1, I would have to say it's probably Mahomes or Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
I think we're going to see a little bit of a different Lamar Jackson this year, but you just can't ignore the rushing ability. To me, that's what it's all about, is the rushing ability. The dude's getting you 100 extra yards and maybe a touchdown a game just on his rushing ability alone. So it's like,
yeah,
I can't ignore that. If I had to go with someone, he'd probably be my number one.
Right. And the 5 or 6 guys that are getting taken in all these dynasty startups all have that in common, is their rushing floor.
You have to.
Yeah. How about running back, CMC, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Dumb question. How How about out of the
I
rookies?
still got Saquon.
The rookie.
FYI.
No, good for you.
There's no.
Just saying. It's not a dumb question. I don't know. I don't feel stupid for having Saquon
Well, you
right
should.
above Sears. I guess we'll see.
All right, how about we'll phrase this differently. Who's the rookie running back you want this year, if you could have any of them?
Probably Taylor.
Ooh.
I don't know. If it's redraft, probably Taylor. If it's dynasty, what was it, Dobbins?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right.
Probably him.
Yeah.
I don't know if Mark Ingram's going to be there next year.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't really impressed by the class that much. I like Swift. I'm just curious to see what that tandem's going to work out to be.
Yeah.
And I know we have some Lions fans on this podcast, so I don't know if they have any input on that.
I'm more offended by the lack of Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
I knew Sean was quietly melting down in the corner there.
Yeah.
I like his opportunity. I do. I think of all the people, he has the clear opportunity to be a workhorse, to put up the most points. I don't know if I believe in his talent. I don't know if I want to say that because he is talented. There's just something about him. I like some of the other running backs better. I definitely think he has the best opportunity. I'm just. Again,
see, and I had him as the best talent before the draft too, and that's kind of why I'm just like locked in there. It's like, yep, clearly the best opportunity. My opinion, the best talent. Let's go. So.
Yeah, I think he could be top 3 for me. It really depends. I kind of want to see what happens in camp and stuff, and I know everything this year is going to be a little bit different, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect really from that offense. I know Mahomes going to go crazy again. He's got a shit ton of weapons. So I don't know.
And a lot of people say it's stupid, but Andy Reid may be loyal to the guy that won him a Super Bowl. May give him the touches.
Very true.
Or most of the touches.
I guess I got to wonder, though, why you spend a first-round pick on a running back then, because ideally, you're not giving him a second contract, so you got him for 4 years with an option, team option. So, I would think that you would want to get your bang for your buck while you have it. But
do you think that they ease him in this year, like give him 30-40% of the touches, and then maybe next year he'll be the guy, and then they'll run him into the ground, and that's probably where his value will come in?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. I think the big thing is his value always came in the receiving game, and I think he's going to be very active there. So in PPR, to me, like, if you're out there catching 50 passes, like, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
even if you're only part-time running back, if you're catching 50 passes and getting part-time rushing duties, that's valuable.
Yeah, he could be James White on steroids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about wide receiver? Wide receiver one?
Oh, Michael Thomas. Gotta be. Slant machine.
Slant machine, okay. What about out of this year's class? Who would you want there?
Oh, man. I do like Lamb. I'm just curious to see how he fits into that rotation because I like Gallup too.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what the breakdown's going to be.
Yeah. A lot of mouths to
the way I'm looking at it is like take Lamb and Gallup and put them in the same class. I don't think anybody is debating which one of them was better as a prospect.
For sure.
So Gallup obviously has a little bit more development under his belt at this point. But at the same time, I don't think Dallas is drafting their wide receiver 3 in round 1. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So one of them has to get phased out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I can see that.
Past this year, it's most definitely Lamb, I would think. I don't know. We'll see. Tight end. Who you got tight end one?
Ooh. You know what? That's a tough one. I never really thought about that. But I don't want to talk about Kelsey because everyone's going to draft him probably number one, rightfully so. And Kittle. Mm-hmm. I really like Mark Andrews.
Yeah, good value there. Very good value.
Good value. Hayden Hurst. I think he's going to be
that's great value
this year.
Yeah, Hurst is going stupid late in all these startups we're doing.
And whoever is going to end up catching the passes for the Bucs. Yeah, is going to be really good value too. Right. I don't know if it's going to be OJ Howard. I would like it to be because he's on like every single one of my dynasty teams doing shit. But we'll see.
After Gronk shatters into a million pieces, it probably will be. So
honestly, you know what? I think based on past experience and Brady and Gronk working together a lot, I don't think Gronk is anything more than maybe a red zone threat. They brought Gronk there to block for Brady. That's the one thing he knows how to do is block the shit out of those edge rushers. So I think that's what his main duty is going to be, is to protect Brady while he's there. I don't think you're going to see him coming out of the backfield a lot. I don't think you're going to see him catching a lot of passes unless they're in the red zone or near the end zone. But I wouldn't expect much from him. But that's just my opinion. And that's really how they started using him in New England towards the end too. So,
so why do you think he came out of retirement to do that?
I don't know. Because
loyalty.
He's got nothing else to do and he's loyal and Brady probably asked him and Gronk, I think, already lived in Tampa or something. So, he probably just said, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. I mean, I have no idea, but paycheck, right? Because he's not doing anything else right now.
Right.
Sure, I guess I'll just be an NFL player.
I mean, I really don't know why. But I don't know. If I were him, I probably would have stayed retired because he's going to get the shit beat out of him this year trying to block for Brady.
Yeah, he's got to re-put on that 100 pounds he lost too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, that leads us right into some Patriots talk.
Yeah, I want to hear this one.
Yeah.
Reaction.
So what's the outlook for the season, and are you on the Stidham bandwagon?
It's not good, guys. It's not good.
Guys, Hoyer.
Yeah, who would you rather have start, Hoyer or Stidham?
Oh man, at this point, I don't really care. It's gotta be Stidham because we're not going anywhere with Hoyer.
Are you kidding me?
I think either way, I think the difference between Stidham and Hoyer is going to be 2 games. It would be 8-8 or 10-6.
Yeah, Hoyer's bringing you to the playoffs at 10-6.
Yeah,
I don't think the Patriots.
But you guys want to tank for Trevor, right? Is that the plan you want?
I have no idea. It's going to be a shit show, I tell you that. My prediction for this year is 8-8, and that's for me being generous. Yeah, it's not looking good.
What is that mass exodus going to look like in Boston when all the Patriots fans that are under, 22, 23, see a major losing season? Like, not a... Brady's just hurt this year kind of losing season. But
they still went, 11-5 that year?
Yeah. But a black hole future in Foxborough. Like, what is that pile up going to look like on I-90?
It's going to be a lot of burnt jerseys.
I can tell you this. Because of this is the one reason why I never wanted them to let Jimmy GQ go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if he were there right now, I think this would be a whole different story. Mm-hmm. But obviously, do want to play and he wanted to make money, so good for him. Yeah. I think it was stupid for them not to keep him, and they should have paid him because this is what they ended up with.
Jared Stidham.
So yeah, it's not going to be good.
He sucks, dude.
It's gonna be weird for Patriots fans to lose every other week, to be honest.
Do you think Buffalo takes the division?
Oh yeah, by far.
Nice.
I think so. They're the most ready to. I still do not like Josh Allen at all.
Oh yeah, me either.
I have an unhealthy hatred for him. I don't think he's a good quarterback. But that being said, they're, I think, by far the best team in the AFC East
Yeah,
right now.
he just needs to not make mistakes, and they'll be in the playoffs.
I love how you live outside their stadium and saying that.
I mean, I'm pretty vocal with my, I do like to see the Bills do good. I just don't like him as a quarterback. I don't know what it is about him. But I think their defense their defense is going to be solid this year. They have some really good pieces on offense.
Right. Just got Diggs too. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to lose the division this year. And I'm not worried about the Jets, and definitely not worried about Miami. So.
Right. No one should ever be worried about either of those teams. Do you think?
Why are we really worried about Buffalo though? Like, I wouldn't be worried about them.
No,
you know,
we're talking to win the division. Not they're not going to do damage in the playoffs. Like,
but he was like so confident that Buffalo was going to win it. Whereas for me, like, honestly, I think any of those 4 teams, I do too.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of liking Miami.
No, you're crazy. No,
just with some of the moves they've made, and with the vacuum of the Patriots, like, I could see something happening. Miami doesn't have to put together a really great season to beat the Jets twice, pull off a split with the Bills, and
they'll split New England,
split or beat New England twice.
Yeah.
You know, I could see that happening.
Take them.
Miami's going to be dead fucking last in that division again.
I guess it depends on what they do at quarterback.
That's a good point.
Probably the biggest. Yeah. That's the biggest question. I mean, are they going to sling it like 80,000 times a game and let Fitzmagic do whatever the hell he wants?
That could get them there. I could see that.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got nothing to lose. You know, they're going to have to develop Tua. So let Fitzmagic do his thing. And if 4 or 5 games in, it's just looking like bad magic, you know, maybe they bring in Tua, but if Fitzmagic can go the distance, even like half the season, pulling off some upsets and some crazy games like he's done before, like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. He's done that before. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah. So
I honestly think it could be anybody.
Yeah.
And like, there's not a single team in that division where if they win the division that I'm just going to be surprised by it at all.
Yeah. Do you think the Patriots should lean into this and just do a total shit season and get Trevor Lawrence and wrap shit up for the next decade plus?
You know, I think the biggest factor for them is going to be their defense. If their defense is the same defense that rolled out at the beginning of last season, they can still do some damage.
Right.
But I'm not sure. They would never tank. I don't think they would tank.
No, Belichick wouldn't let them. Yeah.
And I don't think they would be bad enough to be able to get him. I would like it. That'd be awesome. But they could always trade for it somehow, you know.
They'll end up with Deshaun Watson next offseason.
So we'll see. I don't know. Their defense really has to pull them through this season. But
they've won Super Bowls playing defense and running.
Yeah. Let me if I can remember correctly.
Yeah, and special teams. Seriously, they have.
Yeah, their special teams are good. So if I remember correctly, they're doing a 3-4 this year. So I think they have Lawrence Guy, John Simon are the 2 edges, and I don't remember who's playing nose tackle. It might be Adam Butler. All right, so this is where it gets nasty. Shalik Calhoun, Juwan Bentley, Dante Hightower, and Brandon Copeland. Those are their 4 linebackers.
Yeah.
And
that's
Josh Uche.
Yeah.
And then they have they're gonna have Chase up in there trying to wreak havoc, and they got Derek Rivers and Dietrich Weiss, but I don't know, their defense is weird to me. I mean, they have 2 outside linebackers playing defensive end and a 3-4, so essentially they're gonna have 4 outside linebackers on the field at once, which is gonna be really weird. I don't know, this is gonna be a shit show, but we'll see.
This is going to be a shit show.
If Belichick can piece together a good enough defense and then just run the offense through Sony Michel. I mean, that could be
Through Sony Michel. Nobody's running an offense through Sony Michel.
Well, through the run game. Through the run game.
Through the run game.
Yeah.
They're going to definitely lean heavily on the run game, whether it's Michelle or, what was it, Damian Harris?
Yeah, everyone's predicting the Harris resurgence this year.
Yeah,
That's
and then
the
you
big
got,
talk.
James White catching 300 passes out of the backfield, too.
Oh, yeah.
Rex Burkhead.
Sure.
Oh God, this is so nasty. It's so disgusting. Yeah, I don't know. They're always like patchwork is a good name for it. They always find a way to put these like ragtag teams together and do something. So,
but Belichick's won Super Bowls with doing that though. It's doable.
Yeah.
It's definitely doable.
You definitely can't count them out, but I think you'll definitely see a different side of them this year. If they could sneak into the wild card, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. But I don't know. We'll see.
Ask me
again in like week 4.
Right. I think me and Sean both had them in. I had them as wild card. Sean had them as division.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I'm not betting against Belichick.
No, same.
I'll take.
Yep.
I'll take either of them.
Right.
Damn it. I'll go wild card or division. I'll take it.
Until Belichick is retired or dead, they're a threat to win the Super Bowl. It's that simple. Yep. Okay, we'll wrap it up with a couple more here. Have you ever had poop-related road rage?
God, I didn't even know this was coming. Who could have seen this coming?
You know what? So, yes and
God
no.
damn it.
Yes and no, probably. I remember one time, where was I driving? I don't remember where I was driving from, but I had to piss so bad. So I was like trying to get it into like a Gatorade bottle. But the problem is that the Gatorade bottle was like already full. And I was kind of tipsy and I needed it to rehydrate to make it home. So I had to like drink the Gatorade as fast as I can without pissing my pants. And so as I'm drinking this Gatorade, I'm like busting at the seams. So I'm like dumping Gatorade out of the car window and I'm driving so fast that it's like blowing back in my face. And then I'm trying to piss in the bottle and it's going everywhere. Jesus, that's probably one of the worst nights of my life in college.
That sounds like a normal college night. Yeah, yeah.
I remember. No, I don't think I've had poop related rage road rage. Rage road. You know what I'm talking about.
You've never had an emergency where you're gonna like shit your drawers and you just drive fast because of that, trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, I would say so.
There you
I
go.
think luckily though,
Sean's
I've been
the
in a
weirdo.
position where I've had like, green lights. I maybe had to run one red light to get home, and then you park half on the grass, like off the curb, and then you're just like running. And isn't it funny? Like the closer you get to home, the closer you get to the door, and the closer you get to the bathroom, like the more and more and more your shit's about to fall out. You're like, oh my god. It's like a mental thing. It's like,
Yeah,
oh my God, I'm
it's
almost
like
there.
yeah, your butthole knows when you're getting close. It does. It does.
I hate all of you.
These are the important questions. All right,
Yeah, come on.
and we'll wrap up with the legit final question. Stupid early prediction. We do this every interview. Who you got in the Super Bowl this year in fucking June?
All right. Are we gonna have a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
We'll see.
gotta hope so.
No, God, no, not the Patriots. Stupid early All right, so I'm gonna do my realistic and my hopeful.
Okay.
Realistic, I'm gonna say 49ers and the Ravens.
Ooh.
Hopeful is gonna be the Bucks and the Chiefs.
Ooh. Yeah.
I want to see Bucks Patriots.
Yeah, I'm
That
sure
would
you
be
do.
even better.
Ugh. Gross.
Yeah, but God, people would hate that. It's like they got rid of Tom Brady and they still can't get rid of Tom Brady out of their
They just multiplied.
Yeah. Jesus.
I don't know. I think this is probably the best chance the Bucks have had since the last time they went to the Super Bowl. So we'll see.
True. All right, so in the realistic, who wins? Ravens, 49ers.
Ravens. They're
right.
my team this year. I think they're going to make it all the way. Take the cake, so we'll see.
I agree.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, IDP dude, Antonio, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast. Glad to have you back for the season. And, glad to have you on the show again.
Likewise, it's been fun, and looking forward to getting into those rankings, writing some articles, and talking about shit pants stories.
Feats and meats. Feats and meats, baby.
We got a Feats and Meats podcast. We got to start up, all that good stuff. So it'll be fun.
Nice.
I was gonna say I missed you, and I'm regretting even having that thought.
Dynasty Football Digest, your new essential site for Dynasty information. For as little as $1 a month, gain access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, trends, ADP, in-season assets, and a Slack chat just for subscribers. Purchase today at dynastyfootballdigest.com.
Check the rankings.
All right, so now we're going to go into our steak and salad. Johnny, do you want to intro this segment?
Yeah, it's just an excuse for us to talk about stuff we like and stuff we don't like, because that's what this entire show is. Alrighty, so steak this last couple weeks here, I've just been killing time till Last of Us Part 2 comes out, much like Sean. So I decided I was just flipping through the PlayStation catalog online, and I found Mafia 1, 2, and 3 have all been remastered and made into the definitive editions. I played Mafia 1 a long time ago, so I remember that. I downloaded 2 and 3. I beat 2 in a week. I'm almost through 3. And they are incredible games, and ridiculous games. Like, some of the stuff that they say in those games would not fly in 2020 culture. That's for sure. Yeah. But really, really good games. It's been a pleasant surprise to play those. And in, I believe, 5 days, Last of Us Part 2 comes out. So very much looking forward to that. How about you guys?
So question on that. Are you getting the PS5 when it comes out?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Did you guys see the launch for that, by the way?
I have not yet.
It looks awesome.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the recap with all the details, though.
Yeah.
And people are shitting on the design for that. I think the design's tight.
Yeah, the design looks good. I don't know what they're complaining about. Looks good.
I don't either.
It follows the same design as like SpaceX and like the new Stormtroopers. Like that kind of black and white and edges.
Yep. And I like how they're going to have a disc version and just a digital version, so you don't even have to buy CDs anymore. It's just a giant hard drive, and you just download shit. That's going to be sweet.
Yeah, I think they tried that the last time, and people were upset.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's...
Back when they started it the last time,
there were still rental companies like Blockbuster and...
your internet was
Blockbuster, but
your internet was not nearly as quick.
Yeah. Now it's just like standard where I'm not buying games. I get like every once in a while I'll go to like a GameStop just to kind of like peruse and see if they have something that's like, oh, I totally forgot about this, and here it is.
Yeah.
But if there's a game that I want that's upcoming, I'm pre-ordering and it's downloading while I sleep.
Absolutely. Yep.
So my stake, I think, along the same lines, video games. I got a new PC that I built, and I've been playing this game called Disco Elysium, which sounds really bizarre, but it's fucking awesome. This is the most hooked I've been on a game in a very long time, and it's something like 90 hours minimum of gameplay just for one playthrough, and I can already tell you that the playthrough is not going to be enough. I'm going to have to play it again. So,
gotcha. Nice. Cool. So my stake is, it's kind of a teaser, but we've got some major news coming in the next couple weeks. I can't really release it now, but we just
You're having a baby.
No. Well, my baby is having a baby. As cryptic as that sounds. But there's so much stuff that I'm just coming back from vacation that I had put off, and things that we're doing to advance the brand and stuff that's coming out that I'm really excited to be doing, that by probably the next episode will be released and people will know about it. So we'll be talking about it then.
Cool. salads. Time to toss some salads. So with the CBA change, with the Dalvin Cook holdout, with how the Melvin Gordon holdout went, with me seeing Tony Pollard for a year now, hindsight's 2020, right? Spending $90 million on Zeke was a bad fucking idea. It was a real bad idea. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
It didn't.
Well, it did to me. But yeah, bad idea. I would have, seeing everything now, just let him walk, paid Tony Pollard nothing, and use that money for other things. But whatever. We've got a window. It's just very small now instead of could have been bigger. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. My salad is going back to work. I go back on Friday, and man, the restaurant industry is a fucking shit show right now. And it's like, dude, not only do I not want to go out there and just be around a fuck ton of people right now, but also like the people that are out there are fucking assholes right now. And on top of that, like nothing's running smoothly and the rules are changing daily because they think things are getting better and then they're not getting better and they're getting worse, and you're like loosening things up and then you're dialing it back, and it's a fucking mess. And this is just going to be the type of stress that I go to work, and even if I'm only like if there's only like 3 days a week available for me because it's short, like minimized staff right now, it's going to be shit where for the other 4 days it's just going to be stressful because I'm going to be getting text messages, calls, emails, whatever, giving me updates on what's changing every single day. It's just shit sucks.
Yeah, it's one thing. Like I was just out in Michigan on vacation planning my wedding, and we went to a certain region of that state, and people just didn't give a shit. We went and had dinner at one pizza place where you wouldn't even know that there was a pandemic with the way they were running things. And comparing that to where we live in Connecticut, which was like right outside one of the major epicenters for this whole thing, and watching how like the people here taking it serious and, putting on face masks and everything, it seems to be working to like help everything go down while we open up. Whereas other states that are opening up and people don't necessarily care as much, like they're seeing peaks. Like Florida's got like one of their highest days. I think recently it like tripled.
Who could have possibly seen that coming?
Florida, no way.
Right. It's it's one of those things. I just want this shit to be over with. Like we want football.
How are Texas and Arizona doing?
Yeah.
They were among the other ones that were just like, nah, fuck it, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Not doing too good.
But this kind of goes into my salad of I'm back from vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you and your vacation.
But, I
haven't left my apartment in 3 months.
See, that was the whole thing. We had to have a change of scenery because, like, the same thing happened to my fiance, and she was going stir crazy, like, just bored out of her mind.
Tell her to pick up video games, man.
Well, she's starting a Etsy shop. Worked on a logo yesterday. Put that one out there for people to see. But it's one of those things. We just gotta. And now I'm working from home full time again, so I'm busy, but I'm in her vicinity, so just constantly bugging. Like it's those memes of like man working at computer and girlfriend just freaking out around him. So fun stuff.
Fiance, not girlfriend.
Fiance, thank you.
The IDP Guys is your #1 resource for IDP information for your fantasy leagues. For as little as $1 a month, get access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, ADP, trade calculator, in-season assets, and a Slack chat to get personal help all year round. Purchase today at idpguys.org.
Johnny the Greek.
Alrighty, so we are keeping it moving with the Bovada futures for the hopefully upcoming NFL season here. We've got the 2020-2021 win totals for every team, so I figured we could just blast through these. I'll say a team, you guys say over or under, and it'll be 2 out of 3 one way, so we'll get our votes in. Ready?
Mm-hmm. I looked at this earlier today, so
Excellent.
I should be ready.
Arizona Cardinals, over or under 7.5 wins. I am going over.
Over.
Sure.
Okay. Atlanta Falcons, over or under 7.5. I'm going over.
Over.
Baltimore Ravens, over or under 11.5. I'm going over.
Under.
Okay. I think 11 is probably where it's going to be. Buffalo Bills, over or under 9.
Under.
I might push. I'm thinking exactly 9. 9-7, maybe 10-6 wins that division. Carolina Panthers, over or under 5.5. I'm going over.
Yeah, I'll go over.
Bridgewater.
Yeah, over.
Yep.
Barely though.
Chicago Bears.
6.
Yeah. Chicago Bears, over or under 8.5. Under.
Under.
Yep. Cincinnati Bengals, over or under 5.5.
Over.
Under.
Oh.
I like Burrow. I like their talent. It's not this year. A couple years down the line.
Over.
Really?
But 6.
Over.
He just has to win 6 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see him winning 4 or 5. It's good. I mean, Vegas knows what they're doing. There's a reason why it's at 5.5.
Yeah.
All right, Cleveland Browns, over or under 8.5.
Under.
Way under.
Yeah.
Over.
Way
Give me
under.
the fucking over.
Negative 8.5. Too many personalities, not enough football players.
I can't fucking die.
Dallas Cowboys, over or under 9.5.
Under.
Under.
Ooh. Yeah. 9-7, 10-6. I'll say over. I'll say 10-6.
To be fair, this is a tougher one for me, but because I think they could go off for like 13 wins, but more likely than not, I see them under.
Yeah, we'll see. Depends which Cowboys we got. Denver Broncos, over or under 7.5. This is a tough one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
I'll
over.
go over.
I think I'll go over on that one.
Yeah, over. We're all on over.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Detroit Lions, over or under 6.5. Over.
Under.
Whoa.
Damn.
Wow. Okay.
Matt Patricia's getting run out of town if they go under 6.
I think there's a possibility he gets run out of town halfway through the year, and then that's why they end up under 6.
Wow.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers, over or under 9. Over.
Over.
Push.
Okay. Houston Texans, over or under 7.5. Over.
Over.
Under.
Wow. All right. Indianapolis
I think
Colts.
7 and 9 sounds right.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
before Cooks, I would have been right with you. But I think they're okay with Cooks.
Cooks is kind of a different brand of player. You got to figure out how to use them, and I don't trust them to do that.
Yeah, I trust Watson, and I like the defense. So
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
Colts, over or under 9 even. I am going under.
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 Yeah, it's close, though, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is really close. It all depends which Phillip Rivers shows up.
Right. Because they could very easily win that division. It could happen.
Yep.
Jacksonville Jaguars, over or under 4.5.
Over.
That's close.
Over.
Yeah, and I'm going over, but only like 5, 6.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep. Kansas City Chiefs, over or under 11.5.
Over.
Yeah, I'd say over.
12, 13.
12. Yeah, 12 seems doable.
I think 12 is where they end up.
Yep. Yeah, Vegas definitely knows what they're doing with that number. It's like,
Yes.
yeah. Las Vegas Raiders, over or under 7.5. Under.
Under.
7, 8. I'm like right on 7 or 8.
Yep. Los Angeles Chargers, over or under 7.5. Under.
Yeah, under.
Under.
Alrighty. Los Angeles Rams, over or under 9 even.
Under.
Yeah, under.
Over.
Ooh, it's a rough division. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm not sure. But I'm sure that's my answer.
Gotcha. Miami Dolphins, over or under 6.5. Under.
Over.
Under.
We already did Chiefs. Did I do the same list twice?
No, you just it starts off on the next one.
Oh,
halfway down.
gotcha. Okay, so Minnesota over under 9 even.
Under.
Over.
Oh, but you don't like
Over.
I don't like the Bears, and the Detroit just has
He's
to win
talking
7.
about Kirk Cousins.
I was talking
Yeah.
about Kirk Cousins. You don't like Kirk Cousins, but you think they're going to win more than 9 games.
Yeah, I think they'll win like 10, 11 games. They don't need Kirk Cousins. They got Dalvin Cook and a good defense.
Okay.
They might not have Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's also true.
Well, I mean, he could choose not to make any money this year. That's his option. Yeah. Patriots over under 9 even.
Under.
Over.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know what? I'm changing it. Over. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you guys are right.
Yeah.
Over.
I want under, but it'll be over.
My mind says under, but
My brain says over. Yeah, I hear you. This one's interesting. Saints over under 10.5. I'm going over.
yeah, I'll take the over on that.
Yeah.
Under.
Ooh. The window is closed, do you think?
I just have a bad feeling this year about the Saints.
Well, I do
think Drew
too.
Brees-
When the playoffs come around, I have a bad feeling about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Drew Brees may not end up being the same player he's been. I think that there's been a lot of drama over at the Saints. I think that they haven't done a whole lot else outside of Michael Thomas. I think that Alvin Kamara had a down year last year. I don't know, man. There's just a lot of stuff that just kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, and that division's no spring picnic either.
No,
Yep. Or cupcake or whatever you want to call it.
sure.
New York Giants over under 6.5.
Under.
Yeah, under. I feel like that's damn close though. They could get 7. They could get 7 or 8.
I think they could. I want to go under because I think Daniel Jones actually probably played better last year than I expect him to play this year.
Yep. Sophomore slump incoming.
Sure.
New York Jets over under 7 even. I'm gonna say
Push.
I'm gonna
Under.
say over or push. Yeah.
Give me the under.
If they can avoid the mono, they might be able to. We'll see. Philadelphia Eagles over under 9.5.
Under.
I'm going under.
Over.
Ooh, okay. Pittsburgh Steelers over under 9.5.
Over.
That's tough.
If Big Ben stays healthy.
Yeah, if
over.
he stays healthy, it's over.
Yeah, give me over too.
Yeah. San Francisco 49ers over under 10.5. I'm going under.
I'm going under.
I think I'm going under.
Yep. I think they're gonna
Sorry,
have
Joey.
right. Yeah. The team that loses the Super Bowl the next year traditionally has the wind knocked out of them.
Yeah.
Especially when they have Jimmy Garoppolo, then they always have the wind knocked out of them.
Right. Tough division too.
Yeah.
Seattle over under 9 even.
Over.
Over.
Yeah, I could go with over. Yep. Tampa Bay over under 9.5.
Under.
Under. You're gonna say over. Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. It's close.
10. They'll get.
Yeah, they'll get 10. They'll go 10 and 6. Make a wild card. Last 2. Tennessee over under 8.5.
Over.
Yeah, I'd say over.
Under.
Ooh, okay. And last but not least, the Washington Redskins over under 5.5.
Under.
Under.
Whatever you're saying, it's under.
Yep. All right, so we are on the record for this year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. At some point, we should probably try and track these things. But, all right, so that closes out our show. Make sure you follow us at IDP Guys individually. I'm at Nate Cheat. Sean is at Lanny1925, and John is at OrangeMan3142. Subscribe to the show. Go to idpguys.org. In the sidebar on the right is our links to Google, Stitcher, iTunes, where you can, and an RSS feed for the podcatcher of your choice. While you're there, become a subscriber. Join for $12 a year. There's a $20 one for the multi website. Get access to dynastyfootballdigest.com as well, or go full boat, get those magazines, because that's going to be really where the expertise comes out and you get, the biggest bang for your buck. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Writer Digest Network. We have a lot of great stuff in the works that's going to be dropping very, very soon. We've got IDP Nation will have its home there. What is it? The Dig, Devi IDP Grind is what it's called. That is going to be there as well.
This is your thing.
Yep. And we've got a couple other shows that are going to be making it up there. We're in the works of developing a podcast and show for Joey the Tooth, the IDP update with Joey the Tooth. So a lot of great shows coming. So make sure you're subscribed. Writer Digest Network, REITER, and watch those videos, listen to those podcasts, all that good stuff.
And make sure you check out Kyle Bellyfuel. Just came on board.
Congrats to us for getting him, but
congrats to him as well.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome to the team.
Very happy to have him.
Yeah, absolutely
on board, and all our great staff. But we're really kind of making a push this year to have an impact in the IDP community. A lot of great things that we've got going on.
We're making a push to push their shit in the rest of the IDP community.
All right, Johnny. Give us your classic.
Sean's face. Carol Baskins killed her husband.